Hey guys, I'm Captain Mike, this is Whiskey and Literature, and I just returned home from a big trip out west. I wasn't planning on buying any bottles, but you know how that goes. I bought some, thought I'd just go through them really quickly, and I'd be interested to know what you think about the bottles that I picked up. I spent a few days in northern Utah, then southern Utah, then down in Arizona. I visited my mom, my kids, my siblings, some friends, and you know that if I go to northern Utah, I'm going to Park City and going to the Rye Whiskey Saloon. My buddy Kurt and I decided to also do the distillery tour at Rye Whiskey. I've done that tour before a couple years ago with Mrs. Captain. They have updated the tasting a little bit, but other than that, it was the same old tour. In fact, I had the same tour guide. So when I went to the saloon first, I picked up 2 bottles. Let's go through them really quickly. The first one is, so 2 of my bottles aren't even whiskey, but they're spirits, and this is one of them. This is a Rye Whiskey gin, mountain gin they call it. And yes, it is, it's empty. We opened it while we were up in Utah. Ended up drain pouring less than a quarter of it because I don't fly with spirits that are opened. I don't mind flying with spirits that aren't open. In fact, I do it on a regular basis. And I bought another bottle because I wasn't sure I was going to take that bottle home, but I did. So here's another bottle of the Mountain Gin, and it is 45% ABV. It's the same Rye Whiskey bottle as all the other ones, just it's Smurf Blue. They had a vodka back in 2013. Also, I think it was a lighter blue, but it was definitely a blue bottle as well. Again, we don't drink a lot of gin here in the house, but it's Rye Whiskey, so you know I had to pick up a bottle. This was, I believe, $39.99 at the saloon. So that was the first bottle, and then I bought the second gin bottle at the distillery. But while I was at the saloon, I also bought another Rye Whiskey bottle, the Bourye. And if, like Mrs. Captain, you say, Mike, you already have some Bourye's at your house. Of course I do, but I don't have the 2024 Bourye. What's different about this one than the 2023 Bourye? I don't know, because it's undisclosed. Rye Whiskey doesn't tell us what is the exact mash bill in here. They don't tell us what is the proportion of MGP to Rye Whiskey, of bourbon to rye. Really, I think it's just because they change it on a regular basis. They're getting their stock from MGP, they're aging their own stock, and so it changes on such a regular basis, they just don't put the information out. It is bottled at the usual 92 proof from Rye Whiskey products. This is, other than the Prisoner's Share, this is tied with Midwinter Night's Dram as the most expensive product from Rye Whiskey at $125. This has become one of my favorite products from Rye Whiskey. I do really enjoy the Bourye. All the notes and the flavors are just right. I love it that it's a minimum of 10 years. And so that's great. It adds a little bit of weight that somewhat makes up for the lower proof. I would really love for them to come out with a high proof Cask Strength or something like that, Bourye. But again, it's already $125. So how much would they charge for a Cask Strength Bourye? I shudder to think. But I'm pretty excited about that, getting it open and giving it a go. Kind of hope my bottles don't fall over there. So that was my shopping in Utah. All the other bottles I bought down in Arizona. Now, 2 of these bottles I tried to buy in Utah. In fact, they had it at the store. And if you don't know, in Utah, of course, Mormons is a state-run liquor store. And they have a pretty good website that you can go and you can search the entire state. And so I saw that they had the Heaven Hill Grain to Grass bottles there, right nearby where I was at. So I jumped in the car and I ran down there to the liquor store. I'm like, hey, I need some help. I don't see the grain to glass anywhere here on the shelf. And he's like, well, we do have them, but you have to come back on Saturday because we're selling them when we sell our allocated bottles. And I'm like, well, I'm going to be in Arizona on Saturday. So I missed out on getting these in Utah for $99 each. But I did check Total Wine real quick before I left Utah, and I did see that these were at the Total Wine in Chandler, Arizona. So let's go through my next 2 bottles. And I will say that that Total Wine in Arizona was amazing. It had cases and cases of allocated whiskey. I thought it was great. So picked up the Heaven Hill, the Rye, grain to glass, and the Heaven Hill Bourbon, grain to glass. And quite honestly, I don't know much about what's going on in here, other than it's about a 7-year age statement. They're both, if not barrel strength, they are close to it. This is 123.2 proof, and this is, oh my God. This is 107 proof in the bourbon. So I enjoy the products that I get from Heaven Hill, though the only whiskeys that I've had that are labeled Heaven Hill, because I haven't had any of their higher age statement stuff, is the Bottled and Bond 7-year Heaven Hill. So I'm really excited about these. I haven't even seen any reviews. One of my friends told me that the reviews are kind of mixed on these, which is kind of a bummer. I did pay $114.99 for these, so they're a little more expensive there in Arizona than they were at the Utah state-run liquor stores. Kind of a bummer, but I was happy to see them there, and they didn't have the wheated, but they had the bourbon and the rye. Okay, these last 2 bottles that I picked up, these have been all over here in Tampa. And I have one of their other bottles that I bought about 6 months ago. It's a rye finished in Amburana cask, which I haven't even opened yet. But I am pretty excited about these bottles. Now, a little backstory. So I bought some bourbon, rare character, and they label all their stuff. This one is the K-13-7 single barrel series selected by Total Wine, and this is Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey Cask Strength. Now, they had 2 of the rare character bourbons side by side, same price. So I'm looking at them, and they have this one and they have the other one. And the other one is a higher age statement and a higher proof. So which one did you buy? I didn't buy that one. I bought this one. I bought this one because this one is Kentucky. The other one was MGP. Now, I'm a fan of MGP. Redwood Empire, High West, Smoke Wagon, you just name it. I drink a lot of MGP stuff, so I don't have a problem with it. But I passed, in this instance, on the MGP to pick up the bourbon, even though it's a lower strength and younger whiskey. And I'm not sure why I made that choice, but I'm glad I did, because the other one, the barrel number, I've seen on a couple threads, guys kind of poo-pooing that specific barrel of rare character. So I guess I'm glad I passed on that one. But pretty excited about that. Again, $119.99 for this bottle. The other bottle I bought also is a rare character, and I am more excited about this guy because, again, more of a rye overall. I drink plenty of bourbons, happy to drink bourbons, but consider myself more of a rye guy than a bourbon guy. So again, single barrel series selected by Total Wine. This is TST-R-08 is the barrel number, 116.8 proof, 7-year. And this is straight rye whiskey finished in toasted American oak barrel. So cask strength. So I'm pretty excited about this because basically this is a double oak, a toasted rye. Man, pretty excited. Man, I really enjoy toasted whiskeys. That finish in the toasting, really good. Nothing really bare on the back about it. Also, $119.99 for that bottle. So those are the 5 bottles of whiskey and the 2 gins that I purchased on my recent trip out back west. What do you think about my bottles? Would you have picked these up? Would you have passed on a couple of them? Have you had any of those? That's what I'd really be interested. Have you had this specific rare character? Or what are your thoughts on the grain to glass? Again, mixed reviews on that on the internet. And how about gin? Are you a big gin guy? You know, I'm not. I don't do it a whole lot. But, you know, we've already powered through 1 bottle. It's nice. The aromatics, the botanicals, it's light. We mixed it in some ginger ale. And that's really where it comes through really nicely. I think Mrs. Captain has mixed it into some fruit juice as well. It's nice and it's light. Wow, that's a lot of botanicals in there. Man, the florals are just I don't know if they steeped in this thing, but that's a pretty good gin. So my suggestion, if you see that, and I believe this is a Utah only product, I don't know that we're gonna see this gin anywhere else. Like the Bourye. The Bourye also is a Utah only product. I've never seen one outside of Utah, though I've heard of guys who have found it out there. So all in all, I spent right around 600 bucks for these bottles, about 650. So anyway, to me, when I go on family trips, and I always try and take some time, and it really helps if your wife or your significant other has other stuff to do, friends or family to occupy her for a couple hours in a day, and you can kind of just sneak out and hit some rounds. Really trying to hit that Russell Reserve 15, and I cannot find that anywhere, guys. I just cannot find the Russell Reserve 15, and though when I have seen it, it's been like 600 bucks. I'm going to pass on that all day long. Well, my guys, thanks for watching. I'm interested to know what your thoughts are. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button. Subscribe to see more of my content. Again, I do both whiskey and book reviews. But for now, my friends, you know what to do. I hope you're reading something good and drinking something great. Turn the pages and stay thirsty. Cheers.